I think it's time we start talking about what we're doing today, because this is going to be fun. Before we go any further, I should mention that we've got you covered on all bases this week. What I mean is, here today, we're going to visit the Monday Night Raw that aired. It was a tape show, but it aired on Monday, January 4th, 1999. Now, this is heads up with the Finger Poke of Doom episode of Monday Nitro, where famously we were promised the rematch from Starrcade 1998, where the streak came to an end. So it's supposed to be Kevin Nash versus Goldberg. Of course, we know Goldberg would be arrested for stalking Miss Elizabeth, and he didn't make it back in time. So they had Hulk Hogan fill in for Goldberg. Of course, Hulk Hogan would win the world title with a single finger poke. We've covered that here on the show, if you'd like to check it out in the archives. We've also gotten Eric Bischoff's perspective on 83 weeks, but today you're going to examine the Monday Night Raw, where you famously gave away the spoiler on Monday Nitro with a line that has annoyed you to no end for 20 years. That'll put some butts in the seats. And tomorrow on Grilling JR, Jim is going to watch and discuss that Nitro for the very first time, because he's never seen the Finger Poke of Doom. I think this is, one of our better ideas to get the year started. The voice of Nitro watches Raw. The voice of Raw watches Nitro. Are you looking forward to this? Are you dreading this? What's your feelings right now?
No, I'm looking forward to it. I really am, because I've seen the Finger Poke of Doom. I've seen my response. I've never seen this match. I've never watched it. Here's how clueless I was to what was going on back then. I didn't realize that Raw had been taped. And when I was told to say what I said, I got to thinking, is there someone in the backstage area of Raw calling here and stooging off what's going on? I didn't know it was taped. So I didn't know what was going on. And that line has not really annoyed me. What has kind of annoyed me is that it's kind of like dipshits online will put it down as if to say, oh, that'll get him. And I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, it happened, what, now 21 years ago. Get the fuck over it.
Well, you blocked a lot of people.
Yeah, I still do.
What's up with that? Why are you still blocking everybody?
Because if you're a negative person, I do not need you in my life. Give you an example. If I'm in a room of people and there's a negative person there, just keeps being negative and keeps grinding and keeps being negative, what do? I either go to another room, or I sick bug on them to bite them in the toe, or I get one of my friends like Matt Coon to beat their, well, no, not back Matt Coon.
He ain't doing nothing, as you know.
Yeah. I get Jay-Z to, Jay-Z ain't gonna do shit either. I get Super Dave to cut off their thumb. Is what I would do.
Well, I mean, that makes sense, because as you know, Super Dave has burnt both of his thumbs off.
Right. Or I'd get Weird Louie to start talking to him, and the guy would commit suicide within 3 minutes. So that's how I would handle a negative person that was in my general area. So if you're a negative person online, now if I block you or if I mute you, especially if I block you, then you're no longer in my life. And I think that's a cool thing.
Here we are, the old Signature Open, which I absolutely loved. And, I don't know. I felt like the WWE did a better job of these little openings than WCW did. The presentation was cool.
Yeah, they had better, and we had great production people. We had Neil Pruitt, we had Kemper Rogers, we had Keith Mitchell, but the post-production people with the WWE were always better. And now they're really selling here Shawn Michaels. And why not?
Yeah, they're pushing the idea that he's been fired.
Okay.
By the way, we should mention that The show was taped on December 29th in Worcester, Massachusetts. And, it's kind of interesting because even though you get lots of shit for spoiling the show on Nitro, I hate to be this guy, but the WWF itself on its website heavily publicized the fact that the title change was taped and would air. So they felt that fans being told in advance of a title change that was taped and was going to appear would boost their ratings on a very competitive night. That comes directly from the Observer. So they had already promoted it. Even though years later, everybody would say, oh, it was all Tony Schiavone's fault.
Yeah.
Technically, they're not wrong.
No, there's a part of me that thinks this, and I think I'm right about this. If you feel that I was the one that did it, that I was the one that changed the direction of Monday Night Wars, then thank you. If you think I had that much influence, thank you very much. Maybe I was more important than I thought I was.
No, I don't think anybody thought you had that much.
Okay. 1999, it was a very bad year to be in WCW. Uh-oh. Let's go put butts in seats.
Look at you.
There, I said it. Come on.
So here you see he's feuding with Mr. Man. He's grabbing Pat Patterson's no-no, which
oh my God,
maybe how he got his gig. Pat takes a powder.
Wow, man. Here we are watching. Come on. We all know this. We are watching one of the greatest performers of all time.
Without question.
As far as taking bumps, as far as talking, as far as working a match, as far as getting into his character, Mick Foley was as great as anyone.
You want to tell everybody the famous story of you bumping into Mick in Orlando at a town hotel?
Right. I was walking out of the quote unquote team hotel in Orlando during WrestleMania. I guess it's now 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And he was walking in and I stopped and I said, Mick. And of course, he being very cordial to everyone, looked over, he said, hey. I said, man, long time, how you been? He said, great, man. And I put my arm around him. He said, I don't want to be, rude, but tell me who you are again. And it right to my mind, I almost said, well, that'll put butts in seats. But I didn't. I said, Tony Schiavone, come on. And he hugged me and we talked for a little while and he was getting ready to check in. And obviously, you know, he can't get around like he used to. And so, that was my moment with Mick.
Did you?
And I heard at Starrcast, he had a pretty funny moment with my son, Matt, as well.
Tell us about that.
I don't know but he told Matt, he said, you're Schiavone's son or something. And thank your dad for all he did for me. Ha ha ha. Or something like that. You may know the actual verbiage what went down. I'm not so sure. Matt kind of told me. And as always, Matt was talking to me and I was thinking about something else. I always thought that I could have used some Ritalin at times.
Do you think you'll ever pay attention to your children?
Huh?
I don't say anything. We should mention here that this same night, you guys are setting a record. $930,735 at the gate. But Bischoff is pissed because they've ran 3 events at the Dome, none of which drew $1 million. He wanted to break that $1 million mark. The fans live on the other channel are going to be furious because they were promised Goldberg Nash as the main event. And of course it never took place. And instead they get a main event where 2 guys don't touch. Meltzer would say, overall, the Georgia Dome was an absolute disaster of a show, and it would probably take 18 pages to list all the reasons why. During the show on 2 occasions, the chimpanzees running WCW told Schiavone to say that Raw was taped, and that Foley would be winning the title on the opposition show. So don't switch channels. Nitro was beyond awful, and he was telling people there's a world title change going to happen on the other channel. Who runs this circus? He also knocked Foley, laughing about a company that would make him champ, which isn't going to help Schiavone's rep with wrestling fans since Foley is so universally respected. The WWF shot back when they heard what was being said, since even though the show is taped, the commentary is done live, and said they weren't going to present a main event that starts 2 minutes before the show goes off the air and consists of nothing but walking and talking.
Everything they say was correct. I'm not here to defend what we did, as you know, at all.
I feel like there's a butt hanging.
Okay, but you can kiss my ass.
Oh, that was hurtful.
Okay, there you go.
I don't even know what I did here. Very complimentary to you.
Well, just for the road in there, I'm going to fire Bischoff once he moves to Connecticut.
Hogan and Nitro, New World Order and the Crow, Thunder Russo, Arquette Champ, Vinnie Mac, simulcast. Tony's back with Conrad, not your classy podcast. Watch along, try not to laugh. Lowest rules, cat back. This wasn't the initial plan. Tom Zigg's a good-looking man. Klondike Bill, make a chant. Tommy, come on.